Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. This is your daily market outlook for today. It's Tuesday, the 8th of April. I was going to say February. I don't know why. But yeah, 8th of April. And on this video, we're going to dive deep into the major pairs and see what's going on in regards to the market. So before we do carry on, as always, I want you guys to understand that the content on this channel is for educational and informational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing shared in my videos should be considered financial investment or trading advice. Trading and investing always involves risk, and you should always conduct your own research before making any financial decisions. So understand that this is only for educational purposes only. Now let's get straight into the charts. So same as yesterday, let's double check the news. As of today, we've got nothing on, no red folder news going on at all, unless I've got this wrong. Have we got any orange folder news? Let's see. 2nd of April, what are we on 8th? So yeah, obviously Canadian dollar, we had orange news, but no red folder news as of today. But then going into the rest of the week, we do have heavy news. So maybe the market's preparing for that. And all we can do is, of course, play to what we can see. So starting off, as always, the US dollar, you can see that the market is clearly in that downwards trend. You can see that we're clearly creating them lower lows, them lower highs, and then we've kind of now had this daily change of trend. But that doesn't necessarily mean to me that this means that this is going to be the catapult to just carry on all the way upwards as a swing idea. What we could potentially be doing is, yes, we had daily lower low, daily pullback. We didn't get a full pullback here. And then we created a new daily lower low. And now we've had that daily change of trend, but they could just be to rebalance this whole leg here. So if you look at this whole leg, we have imbalance pretty much everywhere, and we have a fresh daily supply area here as well. So if you look first and foremost at the imbalance, you've got imbalance here on the daily. You've got imbalance also here that still needs to be filled, which we're currently tapping into. So you can see why the market is rebalanced this imbalance, rebalanced itself here, or starting to, and then wanting to rebalance it from here. So what I'm going to wait for is, obviously, I'm going to play the 4-hour trend to see what happens. And if you remember yesterday, we talked about this daily candle here being a horrible but also valid daily demand candle. So remember we said, obviously, we had this institutional candle, and then we had this pullback into this demand, and I expected the bullishness to happen from a higher time frame, and that's exactly what we got. So we dropped down to the 4-hour. You'll be able to notice that from a 4-hour standpoint, there was nothing much that we could see from a dollar perspective for me personally. So I wasn't really interested. But as you guys can see, we just followed a trend that's happened from this downtrend. You obviously had a pullback. We had there, pullback here, again, pullback, and then we had this break. So from this higher low to this higher high is my daily 4-hour range. So my 4-hour and daily higher high and my 4-hour higher low. Now, of course, as always, if you want to be a bit more precise, you can use this whole area as your 4-hour demand, or you can refine it to this area. But for this purpose, obviously, I've got it here. And as you can see, we're moving away. So I expect the market from a dollar perspective to basically, as we have done, pull back and then carry this trend on upwards from here. So that's my first main thought. So if I'm looking at the dollar from a 4-hour to continue up from here, I'm expecting, obviously, the other major pairs to be looking to continue downwards. Now, looking at Euro USD again from a daily, you can see that we've not quite had the pullback like we have done into around this area where we've got a load of imbalance. We did have a clear higher low and a clear daily higher high. So as you guys can see, first thought is, can we get the market to come rebalance this area and potentially come into this daily demand? So obviously that's a long, long way ahead. You can notice that the market tapped into this daily supply, which was a monthly lower high. We filled in the rest of this imbalance, as you guys can hopefully see from there. We've got a little gap. So we've mitigated that. And then if I just get rid of this, you can see, if you look at the wicks are kind of telling us a story that the volume's slowing down, and the volume could be now obviously carrying on downwards. So getting rid of this, even if you look at these for daily candles, the daily candle here, which was from yesterday, you look at the wick, which slowed down a lot, and now this daily candle as well is, come back up and slowing down a lot as well. So if we look at the 4 hour, what can we see? Well, if we look at the 4 hour, yes, this was the demand area that we mentioned yesterday, but let's get rid of this. You can see that the market has been clearly creating a downtrend on the lower. You can see that the market's clearly had from here, pull back, from here, pull back, from here, pull back, pull back. So I'm expecting the market just to basically carry this trend on downwards if the US dollar is going to obviously carry on upwards. So again, no real clear demand areas that I have, to be fair to you guys. So if I just drop down half a time frame, let's see if we can see anything else. The reason this is my supply candle is because yes, you can go from the wick of this last buy up before this moving down, but I've just gone from the body just because it makes it a bit more refined. If I do a little Fibonacci check from here to this low here, let's just say this low, you can see that we met the 618 area and we're starting to move away. So anything above, remember, anything above the 50%, we are now obviously in the premium area, which means that obviously we can carry this trend on downwards premium discount area. So I'm expecting bearishness from here. Now, Euro USD is not my favorite. Of course, potentially we look at the 1 hour, you can see that the market's obviously moving away. What I would expect the market to do is come back up. Well, what I would like to see is come back up into this area here. And then obviously sell off. As you can see, the market is almost done that. We obviously had this institutional candle, we had a pullback, didn't quite tap into this supply, and then we're moving away currently. So it'll be interesting to see if the market is going to be using this as early inducement, so that as a liquidity, and then potentially tap up, take out the early sellers, and then move its way down. That would be interesting to see if we can get that. So that's what I've got for Euro USD. Going over to GBP USD, not as clean as Euro USD, and I still don't even think Euro USD is as clean as I'd like anyway. So if you look at the daily, you can see that we're in this daily imbalance that we've mitigated just here. So I'm going to make sure that this says D for daily. And we've obviously slowed down. We've had this big movement down now, which obviously then created this daily change of trend from here. This daily change of trend from there. And the reason for that is you guys hopefully can see that we have obviously had this pull up, pull back down, and then pull up, which created daily higher low, daily higher high. So yes, we were looking to obviously see if we can get the market to retrace into here and carry on upwards, but we identified that we was in a daily imbalance as well. So with that being said, we obviously had that change of trend. So what do we expect? Naturally, we expect the market to retrace and then carry on downwards. As of right now, nothing's really clear from a daily. Of course, the daily kind of that I would like to see the market come back to eventually will be this daily supply candle here. But as of right now, we're nowhere near that. So let's just play what the 4 hour is telling us. So look at the 4 hour. If you look at the 4 hour, you can see that the market, let's just focus on here. We obviously had this pullback, and then we had this little pullback right now. Now, naturally, I want to see a deeper retracement from this 4 hour range. I would like to have seen at least a 50% met. So this is why I'm not interested in GBP USD, because you guys should know me by now. I've been plugging in. I would like to see when the market retraces up above the 50%, and then I want to see that change of trend to then carry on downwards. Because we've not got that, that's why I'm not interested. All it looks like right now is that we're pretty much filled in this imbalance here. We had a little imbalance from where this gap was here. It looks like we've moved up and now we're playing out of that imbalance from a 4 hour. So yeah, that is what obviously that's what I've got for GBP USD. The only thing that I'd be waiting for is me personally a clearer break and then a fresher supply area for us to try and look for trades. But GBP USD is not my favorite as we speak. So that leads me on to AUD/USD, which for me is probably more likely the better pair right now. If we look at the daily, you can see that, of course, we have got a daily supply and imbalance above. And the market's not really retraced up into here as of right now to carry this trend on downwards. So, of course, daily, we want to see that happen. But let's just focus on what's happening on the 4 hour. Because remember what I always say, you know, and you guys hopefully understand this. If this is our daily range, and I think I pretty much do this every time on a call, there's always a 4 hour range that's happening within inside of that range. So, sorry, one second, let me just do this. Let's get rid of that. There's always a 4 hour range that's happening within inside of the daily range. Why is this annoying me? There we go. So what does it mean by that? So the green is referring to the daily range. And as you guys can see, so the green is the daily, and this is the 4 hour trend that will be happening within inside of that daily range. So we've got to understand that we've got to play our 4 hour range unless we get a change of trend, which then we want to see a daily supply area met. So daily leg, there's going to be a 4 hour trend happening within inside of that, this whole leg. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys on here. So going back, let's have a look at what's going on. The 4 hours not as clear. Obviously, if you look at this area here, it's not as nice, and I wouldn't necessarily trade it. We had this, then we had a little pullback with inside, then we had obviously this movement down. This candle is mitigated this chop area here. So if I potentially drop down to the 2 hour or the lower time frames, potentially might be able to see, you can see this little trap candle here, which is where the market seems to be moving out of. 1 hour trap candle. So as you guys can see, we come back up, we retrace, and then we're moving away. So what I've been waiting for currently right now is, can I see a 15-minute change of trend? And as you guys can see, we follow the 15-minute. You guys can see that we've had obviously up, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, failed to create a higher high, boom. So that's my 15-minute change of trend. So as of right now, I would like to see the market retrace, if it's good enough, into around this 15-minute supply area. Of course, if you want to be a bit more, so in case you miss a trade, yes, we have imbalance, but you can obviously use this whole candle here. You can either use this one, or let's say that's a 1 hour supply candle. If I drop to the 1, you can see, obviously, there's 3 ways you could do this. We've got 26 minutes left of this candle. If the candle finishes like this, which hopefully it should, then you can use this as your 1 hour supply. If you want to be a bit more refined and try and get a better entry, then obviously you can use this 15-minute supply area here, which has imbalance. So hopefully you guys can see that. But yeah, we have had, or we have had the 15-minute change of trend from here. So I am interested in obviously looking to sell this down if the dollar's going to continue upwards. So NZ and AUD, USD and NZ are the 2 favorites I have so far. And I'll quickly go over to NZ if I can. So same scenario. There's no point in me really going too much into detail. Same scenario. We've got the whole leg, daily range, 4 hour lower high, 4 hour lower low. So same reason, it is obviously we've obviously had this pullback and then we had this change here. So that's my 4 hour lower high, 4 hour lower low. We are currently reacting from a 15-minute. So I just dropped down to the 15-minute. It's a bit ugly, but this is my 15-minute supply candle. Now, what can we see? Well, what we can see is the market starting to change direction. We've had obviously clear higher highs, and then the market's now failed to go and create that high, and we're pulling back. So we are having that change of trend from here. So looking at this, this would be where my 15-minute change of trend is. So if we drop to the 1, I would like to see, hopefully we've got, as again, I want to see this, how this hourly candle, I need this hour candle to finish below this 15-minute here. This 15-minute range, 50-minute change of trend. I need to see this hour candle close. If so, then I expect the market to retrace into this 1 hour supply candle. And then that's where I'd be interested in looking to sell from this area. So yeah, very important. We need this candle to finish, this candle body to finish below this wick. Very, very, very important. So yeah, you guys can see that. And then to be fair, USD card I'm not interested in because it looks more favorable for sells. So I don't know. I'm playing off the dollar right now, and I want to see what the dollar's got in mind for us, truthfully. Because if you look at the USD, if you look at USD card, you can see that, as we said yesterday, we have moved away from it as well. You can see pullback, wick into that supply, and then we had this. Now we're coming to this 4 hour supply and we are moving away. So my only thought is, of course, it looks clean for a sell. And where would I be looking to sell from? Well, where I'll be looking to sell from would be, and this is where it contradicts itself. Let's just see, there's a 2 hour candle. Is it a 4 hour candle? Let's just go to the one. Well, this pullback here is a valid pullback. So this whole pullback here is a valid supply area. So, of course, I expect the market, if it was to carry on downwards, to obviously carry on from this area. Of course, it does look like we're going from a 1 hour uptrend to a downtrend. But again, I'm just going off the dollar and focusing on what the dollar does. If the dollar was to react from anywhere, to carry on downwards, where could it react from? Potentially where it's at right now. But again, it just looks more, for me personally, looks more better to look for the dollar to go up, which means USD CAD would potentially go up as well. So let's see, I could be completely wrong, but yeah, this is a supply area that I'm looking for. USD CHF, let's see what she is doing. Pretty much you guys can see we've got our daily range, we've got this imbalance as well. We've tapped into this daily demand candle, which is also a weekly demand candle, and that's why the volume's slowing down a lot. So it is telling me with these wicks that the volume slowing down, we could see bullishness happen. So if that bullishness is going to happen, let's drop to the 4. Now, yesterday, we didn't quite get this as a 4 hour change of trend. We didn't get the 4 hour break. If you look at this right now, pullback, and we're failing to break either side. We're failing to break below on the 4 and break above on the 4. So for me, it's still very, very ugly. If I look at the 1 hour, does it look any better? Not really. The body didn't finish below this, and this body didn't finish above this. So I'm expecting the bullishness to happen with USD CHF, but I want to see some sort of, like if you look at this, I want to see some sort of big bullishness happen to help me be confident enough with buying this up. But as of yet, USD CAD, USD CHF is not my main priorities right now. Going over to USD Japanese yen, you can see same scenario out of this daily demand candle. We got this daily lower high and this daily lower low. We're expecting the daily supply candle to be met, and the rest of this imbalance to be filled, which is just below this daily supply. So dropping down to the 4, what can we see? Well, what we can see is a clear 4 hour trend happening. So you can see that we've had this downward trend slowing down, had this break above, and then we had this another 4 hour break. So our 4 hour higher high and our 4 hour higher low is here. So I'm expecting the market to retrace into this and then carry on upwards from here. That's what I would like to see. Pretty easy to understand. Hopefully you guys can see as clear as I can. For that, you can, if I cut this in half to 2 hour time frame, you can see the trend a little bit more. You can see that we was obviously lower high, lower low, break above this for 4 hour. We come back, and then we obviously failed to create a new lower low, and we had this bullishness here. So, the reason I like this is because we had 2 4 hour confirmations, 4 hour change of trend from here. So we broke above, we come back, failed to create a new lower low, and then we had this bullishness, which was another break of structure. So this is why I would like to see the market retrace into this area. So yeah, that is pretty much it for today, guys. That is my major pairs that I have got. I'm expecting bullishness from the Japanese correlated pairs. So for instance, you know, if you look at this area, don't worry, that's not a limit. I'm looking to see a reaction from this 4-hour demand area. It's ugly, but I still want to see a reaction from here to potentially come up into this. I've got, I think it's NZ Japanese yen, which is a little bit more clear-ish. We're reacting from the supply, but you can see the bullishness is coming up. So just be very, very careful because, in fact, I'm going to leave this today because this is a supply area that we are reacting from on the 4-hour. So there's two ways that you can look at this on the lower time frames. You can look at this on the lower time frames as we've got bullishness happening. So I expect the market to carry on upwards, but also this wick, taps into the supply. And then we're probably on the 15-minute time frame, this will be a valid supply. So yeah, let's just leave it as that for now. I'm going to see how these are playing out also. But yeah, that is pretty much it for myself today, guys. Let's see how the markets continue on for the rest of the day. Hopefully we see the bullishness happening from the dollar, which allows us to potentially look for them. For me anyway, AU and NZ shorts for myself. But yeah, man, other than that, guys, I appreciate you as always. Have an amazing rest of your day. Take care and God bless.